Hey guys, it's Blair. As you know, the last year has been challenging with our smart system, but hopefully you've seen some massive improvements in the system in the past few months. With a September development release into the smart system, we've cleared most major bugs in the system and restored daily reliability. With all that being said, we want to use the last 3 months of the year to reestablish how every person in the company interacts with the smart system and put ourselves into a great spot going into 2026. We know you're busy, so we're going to take this initiative in 4 small bites, focusing on one key task each month. Here's an overview of what we'll be doing. In October, we're going to have each program review the data that is tracked in the smart system and clearly define what constitutes the standards for collecting each stat type. For example, when someone sees trash on the ground, do they know exactly what stat they should be selecting and how to enter it into the system? Or is there confusion about which category the ambassador should be selecting? Our work in October will help clear up any confusion and ensure consistency when inputting data. In November, we're going to be focusing on those stat definitions to retrain and reaffirm that every person on your team has a clear understanding of stats being collected and that they're putting them into the system correctly. In December, we're going to be focusing on implementing a new monthly report template that will get you started off on a good foot for monthly reporting in January. This report will establish a new template that can easily be replicated month after month to make reporting easier for everyone. Lastly, we'll carry this over into January with some tips for next level data handling. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to be doing specifically in October. Again, we're taking things in small bites, so the first thing we're going to do is to have each program revisit the stats you're already collecting. We want you to audit the stats you're collecting and ask yourself, when your team sees a stat, does everyone on the team think about that stat and that task in the same way, particularly in how they enter it? Does everyone know the thing that happens at the street that drives how and when the stat gets entered in the smart system? Now, one word of caution as you start thinking about your stats. This is about reconfirming understanding for consistency, not necessarily changing all your stats. You may want to make some adjustments in your stats, but please don't immediately start changing things without thinking through the impact on the story your data is telling. If you change the methodology for what's being tracked, you may significantly increase or decrease your stats compared to previous months, and that may cause a heck of a lot of confusion for those looking at your reports. For example, think about what would happen if you changed the impact of your total reporting related to the pounds of trash if you were to change the measured weight of each bag from 25 to 35 pounds. That'd be quite an increase, right? This is an exercise in defining the circumstances or conditions that create a stat and which don't. So here's what we want you to do. You'll see on SharePoint a stat definition template. We want you to begin filling in these for your team. This is what you'll use to retrain your team on in November. Take your time and fill this document in for your program. And of course, we want you to save the stat definition template in your location folder for future reference. One more tip, it'd be really good if you use pictures to define the things that you're looking for. Now, as you're spending some time thinking about your stats, you're probably going to recognize this is a really good time to clean up the menu of stats that your staff sees. You probably want to use the time to reduce the stats that maybe never get seen, utilized, or the ones that never even get reported on. But again, make sure you talk to your RVP or your customer. As you're getting ready to train your team, it'll be a good idea to clean up those menus so that it just makes it easier to bring in new ambassadors to your program. To do so, you can submit a smart system ticket to receive some help in doing that, but please don't wait until the last week of October to do this. Lastly, if this exercise does lead you to needing to make some changes to categories, please discuss any of those recommended changes with your regional VP and/or your customer first. Again, you don't want to make changes on stats that are already being tracked and reported on, so you don't want to create that confusion. Okay, so let me summarize. October is going to be for revisiting stats and creating good definitions for what you track at your program. In November, we'll be retraining everyone based on those definitions to ensure consistency. In December, we'll be focusing on reporting, and we'll do some higher level training on improved stat handling in January. Again, all of this is designed to give your data collection strategy a tune-up heading into January, which is the new reporting year for many of us. Okay, we'll see you in October with some guidance on how to use the stat definitions for training in November. Good luck with defining your stats, and we'll see you soon.